Hello, welcome to your latest video. Today we're going to be taking a look at index laws. So during this video, you will be able to look at recalling the laws of indices. So there are 5 of them that we're going to look at. Then we're going to look at a few questions as we go along that will enable you to apply these 2 different questions. So the first one we're going to look at is an index law involving multiplication. So when you've got 2 identical values or variables, so a value could be would be a number. So for example, if you had the number 2 or number 3, it doesn't matter what the number is. Or if you've got a variable which could be a letter like A, B, C or X or whatever it is that are presented in index form, you've just got to add the powers. So on this one here, we've got a to the power 5 times a to the power 3, and that will give you a to the power 8 when you do that. And that works the same with numbers. So if you've got 2 to the power 2 times 2 to the power 2, all that means is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So you can see there you've got 2 to the power 4. You're just adding those 2's together to make 4. So 2 to the power 2 times 2 to the power 2 in its simplest form would be 2 to the power 4. Okay, let's go to our next law. So our next index law is division. So if you've got 2 identical values, so as I said before, that could be numbers, it could be the same number, or variables. So in the example I'm giving you there, we've got the same letter, which is the letter A. All you need to do then is subtract the index numbers. So here we would do 10 take away 2. So the simplified version of a to the power 10 divided by a to the power 2 will be a to the power 8. Right, we've got those first 2 laws then. So let's see if we can apply them then. So here we've got x to the power 5 times x to the power 2 divided by x to the power 3. So if you pause your video and have a go. Okay, let's have a little look at this then. So you first of all, if we do the top of our fraction here, so if we add together our index numbers, we've got x to the power 7 there. Make that 7 a little bit better. And then we've got x to the power 3 on the bottom. So in our final stage of simplification, we've got a divide now. We're doing x to the power 7 divided by x to the power 3. And that will give us x to the power 4 for this one. Okay, so we've applied both of those first 2 index laws there within one question. So sometimes they might get you to do that, so there might be a couple of steps to get to your right answer. So our next index law is brackets here. So on this one, you can see it says to raise a value or variable that presented in index form to another index, you need to multiply the powers together. So what this means here, when we've got k to the power 3 to the power 2, you can see down here in the writing, that means k to the power 3 times k to the power 3. So remember, when you are multiplying, when you are squaring something, it means you're multiplying something by itself. And that's what's happening here with this particular example. So if we multiply out that brackets and we get k to the power 3 times k to the power 3, we can now apply our first index law rule, which is to add those 2 together, which means you get a 6. Or you can just multiply the index number on the inside by the index number on the outside. Let's have a brief bit of practice at this then. So pause your video and have a go at this one. Okay, so this one then, we've just got to multiply that 8 by 5. So 8 times 5, remember, is 40. So we will end up with x to the power 40 for this one. And if we were to sort of write that out in full, what this essentially means is x to the power 8 times 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 x to the power 8. And as you can see, if you added together 8, add 8, add 8, add 8, add 8, you would still end up with 40 if you wanted to go a long-winded way of trying to figure out this. Okay, we'll look at another couple of index laws then. So another rule to consider is your negative powers. So when you've got your negative powers, what this means is any value to a negative power will be 1 over the positive equivalent of that value. So if we look at these ones here, if we look at that 2 to the power minus 2, we've got 1 there over 2 squared. And as you can see, and you should already know that 2 squared is 4. So 2 to the power minus 2 is 1 over 4. 2 to the power minus 3, so 2 cubed, as you can see, is 8. So 2 to the power minus 3 would be 1 over 8. Okay, so that's your general rule for negative powers. If we want to look at some other examples, for example, 3 squared, which is 9. So 3 to the power minus 2 would be 1 over 9. 4 cubed is 64. So 4 to the power minus 3 would have to be 1 over 64. And our final rule here, anything to the power 0 is always just 1. Okay, so 2 to the power 0 is 1, 3 to the power 0 is 1, 4 to the power 0 is 1, and you get the picture there. Okay, let's just do a little bit of application of these index law rules now. Okay, so made it a little bit harder for you this time. So those rules with your multiplication and division still apply here, but this time you've got some numbers involved as well. So when you've got numbers involved, you've just got to do the exact same thing you would do with those numbers if you were multiplying them. Okay, so think about that very carefully when you try and answer these questions. So if you pause your video and have a go. Okay, and here are your answers to these. So this one you would think oddly is just 5. So, well, why is it 5? Well, 10 divided by 2 gives you 5. And you'll notice here you've got 9 and 9. So what that means is when you do 9 take away 9 on that x, you end up with x to the power 0. Okay, so those two kind of cancel each other out if it were. So that's why you end up with 5 on its own. Your next one, if you just look at the numbers, you've got 10 times 7, which is 70. And then you've got your index numbers. You've got 8 add 4 there, which will give you the 12. Let me just write that down. So you've got 10 times 7, which gives you 70. And then you've just got to add your index numbers together. Down here, 7 times 7 is 49. So that's why you get 49 here. And then if you do that 8 add 9 for your index numbers, you'll get to the power 17. And we've got a similar pattern on question 4 and 5 as well. 4 sixes is 24. 4 add 7 will give you the 11. And if we look at this bottom one, we've got, if we multiply our index numbers together, we've got 15. And then with the 2 on the inside, we've got to then do 2 to the power 3. So that's 2 cubed. So 2 times 2 times 2, which will give you that 8 at the start there. Okay, thank you very much for listening to this video. If you want to see any more videos on the GCSE Maths Foundation content, please hit subscribe and I'll be uploading loads more content over the next few months. Thanks very much. Bye bye.